39% of our population goes out to eat once or twice a week. But how many of these people know how to tip their servers appropriately? The new saying of double the tax is a very common strategy that people use to calculate how much money is appropriate for tip. In the survey that I took, 8 out of 10 people, ranging from the ages of 19 to 45, said that double the tax is an appropriate tipping amount for good service. But is that right? If you take a bill that is $100, the tax, depending on the state, is approximately 8%. 8% of a $100 bill would mean that your tax is $8, making your total bill $108. Doubling the tax in this situation will leave a tip of $16, whereas if you multiply the 15% minimum to your $108 check, your tip would come out to $16.20. Doubling the tax does not even fully meet the 15% minimum, but still, is that an appropriate tipping amount for good service?
My name's Michelle. I work at Boulder Creek Steakhouse and I've been a waitress for 1.5 years. Tip affects my pay a lot because I get paid a little less than minimum wage, and at the end of the night it's my tips that I leave with and that's how I get paid, so it affects me a lot.
I work at Applebee's and I've been working there for 2 years now. I started off as a hostess and then a year later I started as a waitress, and so I've been waitressing so far for a little bit more than a year now. It is actually more common for people to undertip, I would say. Sometimes I feel as though people either aren't aware of how they're supposed to pay, or they just go out with the intention of not giving a tip, or maybe not even having that in mind. We go home really, really exhausted by the end of the shift. Sometimes we work over 8-hour shifts just on our feet. And so, you know, for us to just get tipped nothing, it's really hard. On an $80 check per se, I've gotten tipped nothing, and that's like us paying out of our pocket, because at the end of the shift, we do have to tip out our bartenders and our hostess. So from an $80 check, I actually am taking out maybe $1 or $2 from that table only and giving it and tipping it out to the bartender and the hostess. And that goes for every check and the net sales that we make the company at the end of the night.
I have been waitressing for just about 2 years now. I waitress at the Cheesecake Factory. I started at a small Italian pizzeria type thing. The worst experience I've had with being tipped is being stiffed. People just don't leave them at all, which is the worst because it's kind of like a big slap in the face. Because you work really hard and you're nice to somebody and you think you deserve at least 15%, if not more, and then they just leave you like $1, if anything.
Do I believe in double tax for excellent service? Absolutely not. It should be 20% for excellent service. 18% is basically what you should tip.
For excellent service, I believe that double the tax doesn't work, just because double the tax sometimes can just be maybe right under 15%. And so for excellent service, I believe that should be between 15 and 20, maybe even a little bit more than 15%.